Scrappy people, long time no see. It's Tracy Reed back again with a new process video for you. I know it's been a while. I've been on a scrappy vacation and dealing with all kinds of things. Summer break, my kid broke his arm, just all kinds of random things happening that just kind of killed the mojo, and that's no big deal. I can take a break and let the mojo come back by itself, and I think it really did with this layout. I did a couple layouts before this to kind of warm up the mojo, and I didn't record those, but I finally felt like recording a video, so I am using the Cocoa Daisy Lemon Grove kits, and they are cute and summery and lemony, and I still have some photos from my Myrtle Beach vacation that I haven't scrapbooked yet, and the blue and yellow of this collection were just perfect for these photos of Finn and Patrick chasing waves at the ocean. So that is what I'm using. I have this green Cocoa Daisy ink that I'm using with these stamps here. And I sort of pre-planned this layout before I turned on my video because, when you're kind of getting back into the swing of things, it's good to have a little bit of a plan instead of just going in blind. So I have some stuff, especially for this side of the spread, that I had already planned out, like that tag and all of that. So that's why I'm kind of moving a little bit fast here, but no big deal. I think it worked out pretty well because I really love the way that this spread came out. So just like with all of the rest of my vacation spreads, I have a 9x12 on one side and then a pocket 9x12 on the other side. They're kind of all coordinating spreads. So I'm going to be working on both in these videos. Rearranging some photos here, trying to figure out the best way to put these in pockets. I would put that "Let's Have Fun Today" in the middle pocket there because that's where it felt like it looked best to me, except for if I did that, then it would have that "Let's Have Fun Today" sentiment right on top of that sticker that I put on that 4x6 photo of Finn. So it would have two sentiments right on top of each other. You can see now what I'm talking about, and I just felt like that threw the balance off of the spread a bit. So I gotta figure out something else to put there. I love these crepe paper bows that came in the Lemon Grove kits, and so I'm going to, I adhered one to this card, and I thought it was just the perfect little topper for that really simple journal card. And I'm going to add my journaling underneath it, and I'm not going to decorate that card any further other than adding journaling. Adding some word strips onto this photo because, I cannot go without using word strips, and since I get the memory keeping sticker set, I had a bunch to choose from. I have some other embellishments off to the side here that I'm thinking about trying to use, and just auditioning, but I don't end up using any of them. I am, however, going to shuffle these cards again, and you can see how the two sentiments on top of each other there just aren't really working for me. So I decided to pull the journaling card in the middle there and move that sentiment up to the top instead. So now I'm going to move on to the 9x12. I'm going to pull that pocket page back over so that both you and I can see them together and make sure that everything works. Now, if you are a Cocoa Daisy subscriber, you know that there's no 12x12 kits anymore, so I actually pulled out a 12x12 piece of paper from the with the Tide collection from last year. I believe it was the July collection last year, and the blue wavy paper was perfect both for the theme and it matched the color set of Lemon Grove perfectly, so it was a great complement to this collection. And I'm going to use a couple of these really bright papers to add in some yellow and green on the left-hand side here. I'm just going to use them as really simple paper mats because my intention with this side of the page, and I guess actually with both sides of the page, are to, I really want to create a lot of layers, a lot of ephemera, a lot of things going on. I felt like before I took my scrappy break, I had started to sort of go with what was easiest, and a lot of times the easiest thing to do is to keep things simple. Although I will say that keeping things simple can also be hard too, because you never know when to quit so that it will actually stay simple. But my heart really is with a lot of layering. I come from a digital scrapbooking background where you can just keep adding layers upon layers upon layers upon layers. And I really miss that aspect of digital scrapbooking in my paper scrapbooking. So I really wanted to add some layers and some texture on this page. So I wanted to use this sunshine. It's an acetate piece from the Crate Paper Sunny Days collection that I believe came in a classified collection for these Lemon Grove kits. So I want to use that as part of my title. So I'm kind of trying to figure out how to add that in effectively over these colored pieces of paper. You can see it was black, so it stands out just fine, but I do want to add to the title. So I'm going to stamp a sentiment. So I'm kind of making sure that everything will work together, and I'm going to make sure I leave enough yellow paper underneath my photos to add the stamping. So I'm kind of creating this cluster on the fly rather than adhering it to the background paper, just so that I can move it around a little bit more. I did decide that I needed to put down the extra papers just so they would stop moving around. I'm going to have to move these around a little bit more. I put it down and realized it was up too high, so I pull it down a bit. I want to make sure that I have enough of that green sticking out that it pulls in the green from the other side of the page, because I don't have a ton of green embellishments I'm going to be adding to this side of the paper. So you can see I've pulled in my stamp now, and I'm going to just pull out some black ink so that it matches the sunshine. And I want to figure out where I want to put this title. I don't want to cluster it over on the left-hand side because I have that word strip there. So I want to make sure that it's somewhere that's, creating its own space. So I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to bring the sunshine just a little bit to the right so that it's not too left-centered. And I'm just using a tiny attacher to put that down because you'll see the glue through the back of the sunshine if you use adhesive. And I'm going to use this little paper clip, but I want to make sure that that charm stays stuck down where it's supposed to be. So I'm actually going to glue it to the paper with some liquid glue, just so that it doesn't move around. There we go. So I'm feeling like I'm getting close to where I want to be on this page, but of course I need to keep adding in some layers and some ephemera. So I'm using some of that Crate Paper ephemera that came with the classified collection, that two, and also that beach photo and that little journaling strip or journaling block are all from that collection. I had to move my sunshine because it was covering up the live-in a little bit too much. And I really want to use this yellow pom-pom trim. And I'm going to play with it right here, but I'm going to put it aside for a minute and I'm going to come back to it. I'm going to add in one of these beautiful washi tapes. I decided to go with this blue Mediterranean sort of feeling tile collection, and I'm going to add one piece of it right under here, like a little, sort of like a little ribbon. First I was like, well, I'll just put it over the yellow, but then I decided that I liked it better over the green too, but I am going to trim it off so it's not going over the blue. And then I'm going to repeat the tape up at the top. First I'm going to try and shove this little sunshine in, but I don't know, it's just kind of an awkwardly shaped die cut for me, so I can't really make it work. So I'm going to go to the tape first, and then I'm just going to discard that little sun because he's not going to work with me. I kind of want it to match the length of the piece on the bottom, so I made sure it was a little bit long. Yeah, goodbye sun. Instead we're going to go with this Good Fun Times little die cut, and I'm going to put him down, but I'm going to pull in something else in a minute and pull it back up. So this tag, I decided I needed a little bit more blue in this cluster, And so I'm going to put this tag down underneath that good fun times. And adds a little bit more to the layering effect, and then added enough little blue in there. I felt like that yellow, I love that yellow doily, but it was too much yellow right there. So it breaks up that yellow. I like the way that that looks. And I decided that I'm going to use this pom-pom trim as its little bow, but I leave it there for a while and I decide that I really don't like it. So I'm going to, fight with it, and I'm going to tie it, and then I'm even going to staple it down so that it stays open. And then I'm going to pull it all back up here in a minute because I just didn't like the way that that looked at all. Finn coming over. You can see his little shadow. Finn was like, I'm surprised you haven't scrapbooked these photos yet. This happened a long time ago. A testament to just how solid my scrappy break was. So I'm going to add in this pom-pom trim on the side here, and this is when I go, I don't like it there and in the tag. I'm going to create a little bit of a pom-pom trim on the edge of this tag so that I pull the pom-pom trim on both sides, and it just doesn't look random at that on the other side. Random and weird. There we go. So now I'm like, where else am I going to put this? So I decided I want to put it down here on the bottom of this green, and that's when I'm like, okay, I'm going to pull this bow out because that's just not working for me. And I'm going to add one more instance of this pom-pom trim. But I'm going to do it over here on the side of this green paper. So in order to do that, I had to really take that out of the tag. And instead I go with a paper clip, just like I did on the right-hand side with that tag over the photo. So that repeats that motif and gave me a place to put the pom-pom trim. So another paper clip on this side, and I am about done. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you, and I'm happy to be back. All right, thank you.